Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our September Spider History. And you can't do Spider History without this guy right here, JR in the house. What's up, sir?
Well, I have something for all of you slack-jawed troglodytes out there that
Ooh,
didn't
okay.
get my joke, my odd couple joke from yesterday.
Oh, you've got more 70s jokes, huh? And, and we're now demonetized because you're showing a video.
No, I only show that, but that's where that narration at the end came from. A classic television show featuring two of television's greatest comedic actors, and nobody got the joke.
Well, welcome to the party, pal, because I say so many jokes that go over people's heads and they don't get them. What's it like to have one not land?
They're insignificant. Yeah, Brad, but I mean, there's boys and girls. Isn't there a difference between my jokes and Brad's jokes?
Absolutely not. Anyway, we're talking about Planet of the Symbiotes. What is wrong with you? You're reviewing symbiotes and clones in these spider histories. What in the world?
Well, it's because the fans demanded it.
That is very true.
I mean, last year, well, hello, SoFlo. Boy, wow, we've only got a we're
starting comments up. SoFlo says hi, Brad and JR. Sasquana says my first time sitting in, and when I saw the topic, I couldn't resist. Matt is saying JR reviewing Planet of the Symbiotes, a brave man. You are, Trayvon. JR's jokes have a historical significance. And Bob says hiya, and Gary in the Frozen says great cover. Love the issue. There you go. So what were you saying? Why did you want to review this? The fans demanded it, right?
Well, you see, I for those of you who've stuck with us a long time, and Hornacek, you're definitely one of them. You probably remember when we took a near the end of last year, we took a poll and asked everybody who was still on the chat at the time, what stories would you like to see us cover?
Yep.
And we got Facade, Cult of Love, Spider Hunt. I don't know, Maximum Carnage. I think Maximum Carnage may have been my idea, but anyway, and one of them was Planet of the Symbiotes.
That's it. Yep.
A story so exciting, it's even George Berryman approved. But
it is not. He doesn't like this.
But so people wanted to, wanted us to cover that, and challenge accepted. It's been 25 years.
Yeah, I've not read it in 25 years
since I actually read the story. It came out in 1995, and of course, since we understand, we appreciate you, the fans, and so we want to give something back, and that's.
There you go.
That's ceding to some of your wishes.
So, if memory serves, these 5 issues came out instead of the annuals in '95, right? Is that true?
Or
were they in addition?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But they were annual sized. I mean, they were basically 5 annual sized issues, but they were called super specials.
Right.
And they were printed on the glossy paper. Really, when you look about it, there's fairly high quality, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of these issues, when you pick them up, I mean, there's weight to them. There's significance to them. And
but just like in 2022, they're padded out. So there's a lot of backups in these things.
Yeah, but I mean, just the paper is heavier. I mean, and you paid $3.95 for this, which is what you're paying now for much less.
I would agree. All right, so it started in Amazing Spider-Man, right? Of course it did.
The Amazing Spider-Man Super Special.
Yep, part 1 of 5.
All right, boys and girls. Here we go. All right.
The story, as the comment said from Brent, 3 hours of Planet of the Symbiotes. God help us all.
Well, we're going to just take this as it comes, but it's just but it's the entertainment value you'll get. You'll not only get Planet of the Symbiotes, but you'll also get us leading you through.
Well, now they're going to leave. All right. Starts with a splash page.
Yeah. This is, the story opens with Spider-Man taking on a group that calls itself the Neo-Luddites, who want to eliminate all technology. And again, this is the 90s, and it seemed that every darn story had one of these groups, one of these quasi-terrorist groups, who had these big high-tech guns. and they appeared all the time. I mean, I can't even count them all, you know. Or if it wasn't a team, then it was a solo guy like Annex or Outhouse or whatever. So anyway, so these guys, I mean, and they're just straw men. They're just, you know, they're just straw men for Spider-Man to beat up and to actually drop a mention of a MacGuffin. So anyway, Spider-Man.
Hey, real quick, did Michelini write all these, or is it just the current?
Well, actually, Michelini wrote all of these because if you consult Life of Riley, which I printed out many years ago,
right?
I thought there'd be more discussion of it, but basically, they only briefly talk about it. Glenn Greenberg says that Danny was overseeing Tom DeFalco and me on this project. We suggested we hire David Michelini to write it. David was a logical choice since he co-created Venom with Todd McFarlane and arguably knew more about the character than anyone else. So if we were going to do a story exploring the origins of the Venom symbiote, it made sense for David to write it.
Well, there you go, from Life of Riley.
So this was still an invaluable source. I don't know if it's still on the internet, but it remains an invaluable source.
Okay.
So anyway, so we're, you know, the Spider-Man's taking beating up all these straw men around, smacking them around or whatever. Well, we know they're only here to drop the name of a MacGuffin, and the name of the MacGuffin is the Klystron wave modulator. You know, whatever that is. So, fortunately, one of the terrorists tells us what it does, because otherwise, what the heck, you know, we don't, you know. So, fortunately, one of the terrorists will, you know, take time out when Spider-Man is kicking the crap out of all of them. He has the time to tell us, the reader, about, it compacts energy waves, multiplying this, obviously. So, you got this super powered, you know, Spider-Man. I mean, this guy who's just very fast, very powerful, but you still have time to try monologue about what the Cyclone wave modulator does. But I mean, it's comics. I mean, it's comics.
It's comics.
It's one of the tropes, you know, in for a penny. So, but fortunately, you know, Spider-Man, you know, like I said, Spider-Man gets them to tell us what the thing does. Anyways, he's briefly trapped, but he's able to kick some huge piece of machinery through the roof of a building. You know, so you know, he won't be trapped anymore. He'll be able to get out. But in the meantime, not very far away, conveniently, Eddie Brock, and his long, flowing, wavy mullet are pondering. I mean, it's like,
look at that thing. It's almost like he's watching like Kane.
Yeah. He's watching
that mullet,
but he's pondering. See, though, but he's not really watching. He's pondering. Kane was truly peeping. You know, I mean, so Eddie's thinking, man, this mullet's kind of getting out of control. I think he had the mullet in Maximum Carnage as well. But
crazy.
So Eddie and his mullet are pondering the mysteries of the universe.
Mullet.
You know, whether or not, you know, the symbiote is actually having more of an undue influence on Eddie. Eddie's kind of wondering. He's like, you know, I really enjoy kicking people's asses, you know, I mean, in protecting the innocent, of course. You know, let's not forget that I, you know, senselessly murdered a few people along the way. We'll forget that.
Got to break a few eggs, JR.
But he's wondering, though, you know, as much as I like to really, you know, to beat the crap out of bad guys, I wonder if being with you, my symbiote, my other, is making me more violent than I normally would. You know, I mean, is it like, you know, is it making me more bloodthirsty and gruesome than I need to be? So, and this is David, like I said, this is David Michelini writing. You know, so I mean, again, if anybody knows the symbiotes, I guess he does. But so it's which is funny because Eddie's never worried about this before. You know, he relished in it. I mean, that was one of the things that was fun about Venom in the original days, was he was just a mean, not green, but he was a mean, unstoppable machine, you know.
And then they wanted to sell a limited series, and then they had to make him a lethal protector.
And then they wanted to sell numerous toys, including this Venom Pez dispenser. You know, you can't sell a Venom Pez dispenser, I guess, when he goes around murdering innocent people. So,
well, they make Green Goblin toys.
Yeah, I know, but he's kind of warm and cuddly. But Venom is just icky and gooey, with the big long tongue and the slobber and stuff like that.
There you go. Right there.
But
There
anyway,
you go.
so Eddie's never pondered these things before, but now Eddie's pondering them. And he's so like I said, he's wondering if the symbiote, if it's truly joint decisions made, him and the symbiote are doing this together, or it's more the symbiote. But anyway, so Eddie sees the thing that Spider-Man kicks out through the roof or whatever, and he says that I have to join the action. And just about the time he is going to do some brain munching on the bad guys, he just stops dead and begins having a crisis of confidence. Well, yeah, he just like I said, he's just what he was talking about. He's starting to vapor lock now. Well, one of the bad guys accidentally activates the machine while mentioning something like Spurzle is more important than this. Okay, there's another well, that's not a McGovern, that's a person, but anyway, Spurzle is more important than this. And after the onomatopoeia Varak, okay, go to the Varak.
Oh, the Varak. Where's the Varak? Varak!
Yeah, because I have no idea what really happened. I don't know. Yeah, Varak. I don't know if
it looks like a printer.
Yeah, I don't know if something
it's printing
was
the
thrown.
word Varak.
I don't know if the machine, the machine fired something or whatever. But anyway,
like
it Varaks. All right, and Venom. Venom and the other bad guys that Spidey hasn't knocked unconscious get away, so it's like, so there he is, and Spidey, but Spidey's thinking, Venom vapor locked at a critical moment. I wonder, is there something to this? Well,
what's going on with the symbiote? What happened?
Mullet Eddie is wondering the same thing, wondering if he is indeed the one in control. Now, back to Mary Jane. We go to Mary Jane, who is pregnant at this time.
Oh, there you
go. But wait a minute. Oh, and if folks, I want to introduce you to Buff Peter. Okay. All right. Now remember, comic book artists only present idealized bodies for women. They don't idealize men in any sort of way whatsoever. Of course not, but anyway, but nonetheless, here is Buff Peter, and his wife, not wife, and who's pregnant but not pregnant, because according
she's
to
not showing in this panel, doesn't look like it.
No, but according to whole milk's good for you, even better for the baby. Well, hey, Gwen didn't show during the time she was allegedly pregnant with the twins, but then again, she obviously wasn't really pregnant. Yep. So I'm trying to figure who Peter looks like here. I mean, it's like it looks like some actor, but I can't quite place it. But this does not really look like
James Brolin, Thanos.
It does really not. It really doesn't look like Peter Parker. But anyway,
Hornacek has a question. Where are Peter's nipples?
Where? Hornacek. Wow.
Down to the minutia, Hornacek.
Were you, Hornacek, like, do you go like into the toy aisles or whatever to see if the dolls are anatomically correct? I mean, holy cow.
Here we go. Gary and the Frozen has a good one. Mullet Eddie and Buff Peter, the odd couple. Da, 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 da.
Yeah. So yeah, Buff Peter, and I thought it's music because Peter's just presented as ripped, and really Spider-Man is not supposed to be ripped. He's supposed to be, he's obviously got a lot of lean muscle, but I mean, he's Spider-Man. He's lithe, he's thin, he moves quickly, but JR, they won't let me. I wonder why, I wonder why. Probably there's a pic. In fact, I'm going to look and see if there's a picture of you hanging in the Target toy aisle or whatever.
Hey, let's go to the Baxter Building.
Oh, come on. I was just, Hornacek and I were in it. I was trying to
we got derailed by nipples. Yeah.
I was trying to psychoanalyze Hornacek to see why he was so
that'll take 3 hours alone.
Nipples. But anyway, okay, so Mary Jane's pregnant, but not pregnant because according to Joe Quesada, they didn't get married. And if they didn't get married, they couldn't possibly have had sex. Okay, yeah, sure, well enough. All right. Okay, anyway, Buff Peter tells Mary Jane that maybe there's a rift between Venom and Mullet Eddie that he can exploit. All right. So we get a couple of pages of retelling the origin because Peter goes to the Fantastic Four building, the Baxter building, because he wants to see the files they have on Venom, to see if he can, if they've got anything on Venom that he doesn't know. And of course, then we get a retelling of the origin of Venom. It's like, oh, we were on Battle World during that ridiculous 12-part toy commercial where Cyclops where Colossus couldn't wait until Kitty Pryde was of age so he could get to know
Spider-Man
her. And
kicked the X-Men's ass. Yes, we know.
And Spider-Man goes in this room with his turd costume. This turd falls out. And then this black turd falls out. The black turd jumps on Spider-Man, becomes a costume. Then of course wears it for a while. It turns out to be real, and then it finds Eddie Brock in issue number 300. Even though we've never seen Eddie Brock before, but anyway, so we get so Spider-Man says, "Well, I didn't learn anything that I didn't already know." Well, we didn't either, Spidey. But as Spidey is about to sign off, he sees the name Spurzle.
Oh, come on, really?
And Ben Grimm, who's there playing with the Rubik's Cube, says, "Yeah, Anton Spurzle. He's a cybernetics engineer Reed used to consult with." Now, Spidey now recognizes the name. And just coincidentally, Spurzle is giving a demonstration today, which is probably going to attract those Neo-Luddites, because it's a big technological demonstration. So Spidey asked Ben if he's ready for some clobbering time. And just to date the issue a little bit, Ben goes, "Does Clinton like cheeseburgers?"
Pulp Fiction, which came out here we go. There's the Quentin loves cheeseburgers line. So that's referencing Pulp Fiction that came out a year earlier.
Clinton loves cheeseburgers.
Oh, I thought you said Quentin, like Quentin Tarantino. No. My bad.
Clinton. Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. My bad. Yes. Okay.
He was president of the United States then.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
From 1993 to 2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike has a interesting line. How can Ben Grimm's big rock fingers be that dexterous to do a Rubik's Cube? We don't know.
Mike, I was about to say, how does he not crush it? Well, actually, he just did, didn't he?
Yeah, he just did. But how can he turn? How can he turn it?
Yeah. So
back when people smoked in comics too, look at Ben with that cig in his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The Wolverine doesn't smoke anymore, does he? Is that like Sada outlawed all smoking?
Yeah, we don't have any Wolverine smoking anymore. Yeah. He's been wearing the patch. Get it? The patch. Come on, because the patch, the smoking patch. Come on, I could do a whole Wolverine show. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, which always reminds me, like when when we're about to watch a movie or whatever, like on Netflix or whatever, and then it has, you it's supposed to be, sex and violence, trying to warn you about sex and violence, know, but or language, but nowadays it's like sex, language, smoking.
Oh, I know, like, smoking. Yeah,
it's like, oh my God, somebody's actually smoking.
I'm going to be influenced.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, a battle royale breaks out when they get to this exposition. Battle Royale was actually a pretty good movie, by the way. Certainly better than Hunger Games. So anyway, so Spidey, the Thing, the Neo-Luddites, and Venom. Okay. But Spidey hears Venom talking to himself again, and he realizes something's going on there. He's, the old brain. Venom's having some his brain is working against him. So he appeals to Mullet Eddie. And he says, "Mullet Eddie, are you here because you want to be, or is that symbiote making you do that? Is the symbiote controlling you? And maybe actually you're the victim and the symbiote is the crazy one, not you. The symbiote is the one that made you grow your hair into a mullet and look really tacky." So, well,
funny.
This is enough to to cause Venom to have another kind of a crisis here of.
We have to interrupt the show. We have a watcher that says, Brad, I thought that was really funny. So thank you, Gary and the Frozen. I got one. Brad won, JR none. All right, cool. Let's keep going.
All right. So anyway,
there will be more Marvel Comics humor throughout these next 4 hours. Yes.
Anyway, so Venom gets away as Spidey and the Thing mop up all the bad guys, and Venom walks into Central Park, and Mullet Eddie decides to make the decision to purge the symbiote. That he doesn't want it anymore. All right. He doesn't want it influencing him and controlling him anymore.
He's just naked in the park. He's going to get arrested. What's up, Eddie? Yeah. I mean, come on.
So the symbiote slinks away from him. No, see, Eddie's got some bridges.
He's got some drawers. There you go.
Yeah, he's got some drawers. You know, I mean, it's like I don't know if like he puts them on before the symbiote latches on, or I maybe Hornset can figure that out. You know, he seems to be.
He actually calls you and I the odd crawl space odd couple.
He seems to be interested in anatomical questions. BD, he lied to you.
I did not. He said I was funny. It was the truth.
What, cigars? So anyway, the symbiote slinks away, you know, crying, nobody loves me. Spider-Man didn't love me and rejected me and caused me to discorporate, you know, with a big ringing church bell. And now Eddie doesn't love me anymore and doesn't want me. So it gives
But I sold so many comics. Why won't they love me?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of the most significant events of the significant characters in the 1990s. Yep. So, but anyway, so the symbiote gives out a silent psychic wail that can't be heard, but can be felt all over the world. And then as a result, there's an increase in cases of depression, suicide, and dogs howling. Dogs are howling all over the world because of this silent psychic wail of a broken-hearted symbiote.
Daddy, why Scruffle's moaning? He's just singing, sweetheart.
No, it's a psychic wail of a slimy little alien. So, and also, even more significant and even more deadly, it's frightening, is it appears to be stirring Cletus Cassidy from his coma that he was placed into in the conclusion of the limited series Venom Carnage Unleashed. All right, which hasn't even come out yet, according to the. Let's see here if I can see the. I just thought it was really funny. Oh yes, yeah, okay. So anyway, so the orderly who's watching Cassidy is going, "Wow, thank heavens he's in a coma. Sick jerk can't even move a muscle." See the upcoming conclusion to Venom Carnage Unleashed. So the upcoming conclusion. So in other words, spoiler. Spoiler. We got our timing wrong again, everybody. And then apparently, because the psychic wail can travel multiple times faster than the speed of light, a spaceship lands in New York, and the door opens. And
E.T.'s at the bottom, right?
Huh?
Oh, no, it's not E.T.
No, it's not E.T.
It's Symbiotes.
It's the Symbiotes, to be continued. Oh, but boys and girls, you won't get this on Marvel Unlimited. But, of course, you knew the... this was a fantastic flip book. Okay, now watch really closely.
Here, I'll full screen you. Hold on.
Okay,
you're gonna flip closely,
it. Boy. Wow, a fantastic flip book.
Now, you got a nice McFarlane homage there.
Yeah, and this is a backup Ben Reilly story, which goes through all 5 issues, and we will discuss that story probably 2 or 3 months from now. So hang on.
That's for the audio listeners. Video listeners, you get it in a couple hours. Yeah.
But anyway, so each of these stories though had another backup issue. The Ben Reilly story was one story, but each of these issues had either 1 or 2 other stories. The story in this one is about Ollie Osnick, the Steel Spider. And of course, the last time I think we saw Ollie, he was a short little chubby kid or whatever, but now Ollie's buff. There we go. Ollie's older and taller and buffer, and but he's working as a carnival side act or whatever to earn money for his girlfriend Jane's rehabilitation because she's in a wheelchair. And then some obnoxious guy, the Master of Vengeance, comes and starts zapping everybody. And but of course Ollie puts him away, because Ollie is the Steel Spider. And at the very end, Ollie and his girlfriend are together, and his girlfriend Janie says, oh yeah, Ollie says, "You are very brave. Promise me you'll never pull a crazy stunt like that again," because Janie runs her wheelchair into the bad guy. And she goes, "I will if you promise to continue being the Steel Spider. Even even Spider-Man couldn't have done as well against that madman." Yep, maybe you're right. The Steel Spider is here to stay. And of course, if you remember during Civil War, post-Civil War, Dark Reign, Venom bites off Ollie's arm when Venom is on Matt Gargan. When Matt Gargan has the Venom symbiote. So anyway, boys and girls, that was part 1 of Planet of the Symbiotes. I mean,
wait a minute. There's another. What's this backup? What's that?
No. That's the Ben Reilly story.
Oh, got it. Okay, we'll talk about that in 2 months. Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I was originally going to just do one issue and go through it and go through both stories, but then it would be back and forth, and it would be there wouldn't be much continuity. So hang on, stay awake, boys and girls. Set your alarms for 2 months from now. All right. So anyway, I mean, I right now I can't contain all the excitement that Planet of the Symbiotes.
No doubt. So is Adjectiveless Spider-Man next? Is that part 2?
Yes.
Okay.
The Adjectiveless Spider-Man.
Here it is.
Super special.
There you go.
All right.
What is going on in that cover? That's multiple symbiotes. You got Ben Reilly on it. Spider-Man getting his butt kicked. Good grief. Look at all that.
Yeah, Ben Reilly is here. Just imagine that, and boys and girls, another very important historical event is going on, I believe, this very same month.
Okay.
And we are going to refer to it. Let's see. Do we refer to it in this issue or the next one? Let's see here. I don't know.
Well, let's go through it and find out.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's a little bit later. It's a little bit later. But anyway, all right. Adjectiveless Spider-Man Super Special. The issue begins in Long Island as a trespasser walks into a restricted area marked Science Expo. All right. And he's met by a security guard. "Hey, stop there. You don't belong here." But this is no ordinary trespasser. He's been taken over by the symbiote.
Right.
Oh.
I noticed there is a error in, I got the crawl space logo on the top of it. But this is Adjectiveless Spider-Man. But at the very top, it says The Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, you're imagining that Marvel didn't make these mistakes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now that's all in your head. Marvel didn't make.
Oh, bad.
Well, I mean, but The Amazing Spider-Man is in it, so he's presenting The Amazing Spider-Man.
But it's okay. It's minutia. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So anyway, the Venom symbiote has latched onto somebody else as part of its devious plan. Okay. All right. Back to So now we're back to Buff Peter and pregnant.
Look at this outfit. Oh
pregnant, but not
my!
Pregnant Mary Jane.
What is that, JR?
Peter's got a gun.
What's up with the yellow pants?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's what was it?
What in the
crazy?
world?
It's Crazy Town Banana Pants.
It is Crazy Town Banana Pants.
Crazy Town Banana Pants, boys and girls. You saw it here first. All right.
That's the origin of the Crazy Town Banana Pants,
which Peter says all of the time, but you didn't hear him say it until that Dan Slott story, and you haven't heard him say it since.
There you go. Yep.
So it is now Crazy Town Banana Pants.
Peter is borrowing MJ's pants, says Gary.
Oh, that's
okay.
Fair. Anyway, okay,
so
Peter's got the sonic gun. He's once again he goes to the Reed Richards and says, "Can I borrow your sonic gun or whatever? Because I want to go out and hunt for Venom and things like that." And anyway, so meanwhile at Arkham, excuse me, Ravencroft. All right, Cleus Cassidy, who's supposed to be in a coma, winks. And
hold on a second, real quick. There's more nipple debate in chat. The artist Mike says Peter has nipples now.
Well, I only see one. I don't. But I mean, look how look how over.
Yeah, he's
it's
really like, buff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's overdone. I mean, it's that's why I think when Ron Friends started drawing in Amazing Spider-Man. I think that's one reason why his art took off so much with people, because it looked like almost Ditko-esque. I mean, Peter was lean, lean, but yeah, this is the 90s and everything gets exaggerated. This is the age of Liefeld, boys and girls. All right.
By the way, this panel on the next page is beautiful. Look at that. That looks cool. I like that.
Yeah, because we have to explain the the way the whole Venom symbiote and everything works, and the symbiote as a result we'll get that in a second. All right, and as Spider-Man is in the Nassau Coliseum to investigate the previous night's crime, Nassau it's on Long Island. Down pops the Scarlet Spider.
There you go. With the word balloons.
I just thought I'd look into these technology thefts. Oh, yeah, okay, sure, why not? Three's coming, two's a crowd. Oh, then the duo Spider Sense goes off. And it's no mullet Eddie.
No mullet. He shaved it. He cut it off.
Either the symbiote took the mullet with him, or Eddie said, I want to disassociate myself from the symbiote, so I'm going to get rid of the mullet that I grew.
Mullet's gone, man. Look at that. Here, there you go. The mullet be gone.
The mullet is
gone.
Mullet
is shaved.
Which which I'm wondering, because Eddie, I mean, particularly when McFarlane drew him and he was introduced. I mean, he was almost like a Marine type. He had a big guy,
like a military guy.
Yeah, exactly. And then somebody decided to give him a mullet, which, I mean, that's just,
look at this. Ben Reilly's like, where'd the mullet go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and look at Eddie's ears. I mean, it's like it looks like he's about to take flight with those things. So
a Dumbo reference. There you go.
Anyway, so Spider-Man. Anyway. Yeah, no mullet Eddie says that he kicked his symbiote out, but still thinks it's up to no good, and believes it's taken over another person. So that's why he's here. And Spider-Man says, well, since you don't have a mullet anymore, we can trust you. So here's the sonic gun to use on the symbiote. And to which the Scarlet Spider, word privately, how can you give that gun to that madman? Which I think was all part of, I don't know, all of Marvel during this time was making Peter Parker look dopey so that Ben would look like the more rational, smarter one. So, whether or not this was part of it, but it just seems that way, that, Spider-Man's doing something very rash and Ben has to, bring it, bring him back within reason or whatever. So, well, Scarlet says, well, we've got to get to Manhattan before the symbiote steals the Klystron wave modulator. And Spider-Man asks, wait a minute, how do you know it's after that? To which, Ben gives him a look of withering disdain and says, well, because you knew when you read part 1, when the thing was given an actual name, it was going to be the MacGuffin of the story, right? Duh. All right. So anyway, well, Spidey, Scarlet, and no mullet Eddie go back to the lab where the modulator was. And the Venom symbiote is there with its new host. No mullet Eddie blasts it with the sonic gun, and the symbiote partially disengages from the host, who then begs the trio to kill him and not let the symbiote take him back. Well, the symbiote gets away. He pulls down some beams from the ceiling. He gets away and escapes. And
here, I got the
blasting
of
the
the guy
down.
Right there. There we go.
Yeah, I wonder where the guy's nipples are. So anyway, thanks, Hornacek. We're going to spend the entire evening now, thinking about that because of you. I hope
I blame Hornacek.
Jeez. All right. So the symbiote gets away, because he pulls on some beams, brings the house down, and as everybody's digging out of it, that's how the symbiote gets away. So, but the thing is, Eddie's thinking something is wrong here, because my symbiote wouldn't take over somebody who didn't want it, And yeah, Hornacek, your work here is done. Thank you. So something's wrong, because that's not how my symbiote would act. Well, whatever, whether it's true or not, the modulator is now gone. And Scarlet says, well, we need to head north. Then Spidey wonders, is Ben forming a new psychic power or something? And could it be dangerous? Well, according to Marvel, you're not the real Spider-Man anyway, so why do you care?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Well, our guys rent a 4x4, 4-wheel drive or whatever, and they go chugging down the road or chugging up the road to upstate New York. So, I mean, can you imagine Spidey, Scarlet Spider, and Eddie all in this? I mean, it's like a road trip.
Oh my gosh. There you go. There's your 4-wheel drive.
There we go. Road trip. I don't know. You can just see him bickering the whole time or whatever. You're going too fast, that kind. Can we stop? I got to go to the bathroom. And if you keep talking like that, you're going to stay on top of the roof. So, well, anyway, so they rent the 4x4. They go to upstate New York, and right smack dab in the middle of nowhere. Well, I guess it's in the middle of nowhere because otherwise somebody would have seen it. Are a dozen symbiotes. And they've got a big old thingamajigger there, Stargate or something.
It does look like a spider gate. Yeah.
And the Klystron modulator is hooked up to it. And now Eddie realizes it wasn't his symbiote that took over the that civilian we saw earlier. It was another symbiote. There's more of them here on Earth. All right. So big fight with the symbiotes. Okay.
Yep.
And one of them turns the Stargate or whatever we'll call the Stargate, the Spider Gate on.
Spider Gate.
All right. And then another symbiote, which turns out to be our symbiote, the Venom symbiote, during this time he's been disguising himself as the Scarlet Spider's tunic. This whole time. All right.
Where is that? Where is that? Where do we find the tunic? I'm trying to find it. What's the panel, JR?
Oh, let's see here.
The Scarlet Spider's tunic?
Yes.
Oh, yep, there it is. Got it. Oh my gosh. So our Venom was the blue part of Scarlet Spider.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd forgotten about. And look how weird Ben looks without that blue part around his costume. That's so funny. So
he rectifies that a little bit later, though. During a moment when absolutely nothing is happening.
Look at all these symbiotes when they get into the claustrum, whatever that thing is.
All right. So anyway. So anyway, the Venom, the symbiote pulls them all through the gate. Yeah. Poof, they go away, and obviously you can see the rest of the symbiotes are just thrilled to death. So, all the horror, to be continued in the Venom Super Special. But wait, boys and girls, because I knew this was hanging around here somewhere.
Okay.
Ads. These were the ads.
Let's see the ads. Love the ads.
Anyway, this was like Marvel Comics here. Anyway, they're promoting.
I got you.
Yeah, they're promoting the trial of Peter Parker. All right. The trial of Peter Parker happens this month. Spider-Man must find Kane and make him confess to clear Peter's name and save Ben from the death penalty, the death penalty, because Peter was arrested for killing this cop, but Ben substituted, took his place in jail or whatever. By the time this 4-part epic concludes, we will finally know the startling secrets of Kane, the enigmatic character that has all of Spider fandom buzzing. And on the heels of that revelation, we will also discover the answer to an even bigger question. Which of our Spider guys is the clone and which is the original? It's a story destined to leave the whole Marvel universe reeling, and it's going on right now. And then right next to it is Ben Reilly, The Lost Years. It's a question you've all been asking. Where has Ben Reilly been and what has he been doing in his 5 years on the road? All right. Now, I remember 1995. I was a young 32 at the time. All right.
I was 20.
And how much hair did you have then?
A lot.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right. But I just remember this at the time, and I was thinking, what? No, they can't. There is no way they can't. There's no way they're going to replace Peter. There's no way they're going to tell us that,
Same.
the Peter since 150 has been the clone. They can't possibly do that, but it's like the evidence is all right here. Why else would they, why else would they have a Ben Reilly, the Lost Years miniseries if Ben Reilly wasn't going to be a significant player in the future? If he wasn't going to be just, more than just a character in this particular arc. So I didn't like the Lost Years. I'm sorry. You're on your own there.
I did.
Man, I didn't like him. Kane looked like it was another Lost Years where Kane looked like a Klingon. Okay, so it wasn't the first Lost Years; it was the second Lost Years where Kane looked like. But anyway, so I couldn't believe that they were going to pull the stunt that they did. But it just shows how naive I was. The evidence was right in front of me.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I haven't even touched that because it's like once I was going to ask once we get through Planet of the Symbiotes, is this even continuity anymore? I have absolutely.
I'm going to have to go to
idea.
chat for that because the symbiotes wrapped around a planet to get Null trapped in there. Memory serves from the venom.
Yeah.
And I think in this mini, the symbiotes are still wrapped around a planet. I could be wrong. We'll wait.
Well, I was going to we'll go through the story and then you all can tell me how what's going on
changed.
Now.
Do you want to do the backup? I've got it pulled up.
Yeah, I was just going to go quickly. We just have a meaningless backup story where this couple who's arguing and fighting, they go into a bad part of town. Spider-Man comes to their rescue. One of the bad guys has the husband by the throat with his knife threatening to kill him. Spider-Man, takes out the bad guys. The couple walks away and they realize that, they love each other and, so Spider-Man plays match, Spider-Man repairs a marriage and doesn't even know about it. So,
then they do an homage to AF-15.
Yeah.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So that's the end of it. JR, are we done 20 minutes before the...
Yeah,
wow,
I know.
Look at this.
We're going through awful fast. I may have to resort to shadow puppets in hour 4 or something like that. But, I just wanted to... it depends because we got the Ben Reilly story to go through too. So
we're going to have time at the end.
Yeah.
So we'll take a couple questions and then we will be back at 8. So a couple questions, if you've got them for JR about these first 2 parts. Let's see.
Or you could ask us anything, but
anything for a couple minutes.
I just I definitely remember this at the time and just thinking they're not going to do it, and sure enough they did it. So
they did it, and then they regretted it, and then they returned it, and
you just again it's one of those things you just wonder what was in the water, how they could be so deluded that they think that it would have gone down well. So, but anyway, we're already through 2 issues of Planet of the Symbiotes. So,
yep. All right, I think that's a wrap, JR. We don't.
Okay.
We'll take a little break, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes, and we'll start the next episode.
Yep. It'll be part 3 of Planet of the Symbiotes
and 4 together.
The Venom Super Special.
Nice. All right, cool.